tutors talk or the teachers talk. So the first thing is that I thought there is a need of ice breaking, and therefore let me talk too much. You decide whether it was right or wrong, okay, or if you want you can write it down. Number two, I thought you people won't talk to me, a stranger, at all. Please write down yes or no. Number one, you write yes or no, or just put a tick mark or a wrong mark. Number two, these are the types of things you are going to have to face in future, because all of you are going to be in the field of business. Business means, I don't mean say commerce or buying or selling, real work. And yesterday somebody asked me a good question about getting tens. I think you was it you or say getting tens and say how, yeah. Your life is going to be, unfortunately, going to be full of stresses and tension. Comparing to our generation, my generation had stress and say tension, and the main reason was socio-economic problems, mainly poverty. Almost all problems my generation faced had its roots in poverty. Very few were rich in the mid 20th century when I was born. Very few people had 3 meals a day. Most of them didn't have at least 1 meal in 3 days. So whether it was divorce or alcoholism or say any problem those days in the mid 20th century, around some 70-75 years ago, can be traced back to economic situation. Still the rate of crime was less. Now it is not like that. Now tension and all those things come to your life from various sources, uninvited sources, unexpected sources, unthought of sources. You never thought that this particular person or that particular situation will bring this much of tension to you. Unthought of places. Okay, I simply walk away at 9:30 to the class and I start teaching, and then perhaps imagine I am a faculty member here or some other institution. Here it is a little freedom. Maybe around say 9:45 like that, attender comes and say hands over a small slip to me. That slip may have very unpleasant news to me from the management or say from somewhere else, some very unpleasant news, or a message on my phone perhaps. That spoils my teaching. I came prepared to teach with a pleasant face and a happy mind. This small slip, at least that person should have waited for the end of this hour. At least my first hour would be happily over. But unthought of. See, power, politics, corruption, all this. You are entering such a world and say things are not going to be better. The science in politics tells us that things are going to be from bad to worse. All sorts of problems are going to be there. So, still we have to live, we have to survive, we have to manage. In such cases, how to tackle problems, and the main mode of tackling problem, and the main source of say creating problem also. The main source of the problems and the main source of tackling the problems, both are language. That's the thing. One slip of the tongue in a tense moment, one slip of the tongue, just one word, that may land you in problem. Just one word in an out of context, that may land you in problem. So language can create a lot of problem. The only way to solve that problem too is smooth communication. Just think of, if you are living in the hostel, say, just think of how many times did you had an unpleasant, say, relation with your close friend, roommate or close friend. How many times? In your class, your close friends, back at home with the mom and dad, knowing very well that they are taking care of you 100%. Still, we had unpleasant problems. For me, with my wife, for me, with my children, knowing very well. All because the molding of the language. The molding of the language. Words are the same for love and hate. Words are the same for war and peace. There are no special set of words for war and special sets of war for peace. You are using the same set of words when you are in love with a person. You are using the same set of words when you are getting detached from that person too. Language is neutral. We make language for love, peace, war, fight, everything. Even, I'll give you another example. These days, not only these days, marriages are to be registered. All marriages are to be registered. It's almost all over the world. A few sets of words are there with the registrar's office. Only your name is replaced there, the date is replaced, the young woman's name is, the bride's name is replaced, the bridegroom's word is replaced, address is replaced. Otherwise, there is a set of technical terms readily kept there. Now in computer, earlier it was in large ledgers, huge books. Now it is in computer. Divorce was not very common in India till the last 50 years. Okay, now you people know divorce is as common as marriage, as common. Look at the ledger or that computer, say, program, the same words which were used for registering the, please. The same words which were used for registering the marriage, almost 90% words, the same words for registering a legal divorce too. Names are there, same names, address them, and all the technical words too, almost the same. Maybe half a dozen words, just half a dozen words. So, language is a tool, a screwdriver or a spanner. It is lying there neutral. I am a carpenter. I am using it to fix this unstable. My 2-year-old grandson is very fond of screwdrivers and spanners, and he has a huge set of spanners, not toy spanners, the real one. The largest spanner, say, weighs around, say, 1 kilo, and the smallest 2. He may make use of that spanner for something very serious, more serious than I do, in imagination. In imagination, he tries to do something with his father's bullet bike. Tools are neutral. Users differ. So, your future depends on picking that tool, that one phrase, that one word, and using it properly to suit the situation. This is unstable. I should use that spanner and the screwdriver to get it fixed. Yes, I did it. With the same two small things, one spanner and one screwdriver, you can easily land a person in an accident. Okay. If you want to create some problem with one of your enemies, all that you have to do is that spanner and screwdriver, even one will do. He will, as usual, come and kick and start, and in 5 minutes you know that he is in hospital. How to make these simplest tools? We are in this program, we are not going to talk about the highly complex tools and say other things. The simplest things like a set of spanners, a set of screwdrivers, a set of these types of small things. How to operate effectively with these simplest. Yesterday I told you, purchase is to me, purchase is a slightly complicated thing. I don't use that word at all. Okay, I too did it when at your age perhaps, but later I realized that no need for me, unless I am in the field of commerce or business. For commerce and business students, the word purchase will be useful. But even there, for their daily life, common life, back at home or in the market, the simple small thing is there, buy, B-U-Y. The whole life we can manage with that buy, because we will be buying and selling 1 lakh things, but for the whole, this buy will do. But you are in a commerce field or in a trade field, then there you have to purchase, date of purchase, or so and so purchase this land, etc. So I am talking about the simplest tools, the words and the little grammar which you had by 10th standard. By 10th standard, not even in 11th and 10th, because when we plan syllabus and write books for both government sectors and for CBSE, I am in both. We finish the whole grammar of English by class 10 syllabus. In 11 and 12, we give no more grammar, a few more words, a few more concepts, a few more ideas. That's all. In India, this is the general Indian principle. I am part of it. By 10th standard, students in English in India have got the complete grammar of English. Number 2, around 2,500 words all over CBSE, NCERT, state boards. I am part of all these things. My books are there all over in India and in the Gulf countries. And my books are there in, say, some more than a dozen universities also in India. 2,500 words, including I, you, me, in, on, board, picture, say fan. Including these many words, 2,500 words have already been introduced by class 10. Then what is there new to learn? Nothing. Absolutely zero. Absolutely zero. Nothing new to be learned in English. What is new to be done is using. Don't learn English. Stop learning English. Start functioning in English. So far you have been collecting screwdrivers and spanners and these things and these things, and you have accumulated all those basic things. You have a comfortable toolbox with you. But you unfortunately forgot to open the toolbox and use them when you have problems at home, okay, a door lock doesn't get open, a particular hinge doesn't work, your computer table gets shaky, and you are wondering what to do. Okay, I will get a carpenter or somebody else. Why a carpenter? Here is a small set of toolbox, a box with a set of. All that you have to do is try. I told you, now my 2-year-old grandson knows out of the 15 spanners which one fits to his toy car and which one fits to his father's bullet bike. He knows exactly how. We allow him to freely use it with all the gadgets at home except dangerous electrical devices. He is free to use. Now he knows this one is for that one, this one is for that one. Just imagine we don't allow him to use these heavy gadgets which are meant for a motor garage, a workshop. The same real thing, not a plastic or toy. Suppose we didn't allow him to use it, what will happen? Later he loses interest in that one because he is growing up, no? His interests change. And later, when he has his own bicycle and when something minor happens to it, he keeps it there till his father comes. His father is busy with his work. So together they take it for a repair. Why? If you have these basic tools with you, which you got till 10th standard, why should you learn more English? Let us start functioning in English. Let us start using these small screwdrivers and spanners and other similar things. No more learning of English. This is the difference between learning a subject and a language. In learning a subject, your physics teacher, back in your class 10 or say 12, your physics teacher came and started working on the board and wrote or showed some PowerPoint things and then started explaining. And by the end of the 50 minutes, in schools we have periods or not say hours, by the end of the 45-50 minutes, a new concept is introduced. Say for example in class 6, electromagnetism. In class 3, already magnetism was introduced. In class 4 or 5 or 6, electromagnetism. Magnetism produced with the help of electricity. The other one is the natural magnet, okay, because of the magnetic power of the earth. And the class 6 physics teacher introduced the new concept of electromagnetism. The next day she proceeded with comparing with the natural magnetic power of the earth and the newly introduced electromagnetism. You were getting physics. Day by day you were getting physics. Later, now imagine you are working as an assistant in a laboratory, some sort of a technical assistance. Here you start using your early learned electromagnetism and this thing and that thing which your teacher gave you. Using. In ELT, English language teaching, we have a theory, skill getting and skill using. Okay? In physics, you got the skill and later you started using the skill. In language, it is not one after the other. It is not one after the other. It is, please remember, it is learning through using. Which is first? Learning through using. Use English, along with that learning English. With all languages. I told you yesterday, most of you will have to interact with not only native English speakers from America, Canada, Australia, Singapore, etc. But with non-native speakers like Germans, French, Chinese, Japanese, their English is worse than ours. The vice chancellor of a German university may not be able to speak English as you do. Please remember. Okay. A vice chancellor in a Chinese university may not be able to communicate with you in English, perhaps. He may be a very great physicist or say some great scientist, but English, no need. Chinese Mandarin, the language in China, Chinese Mandarin provides the whole knowledge of technology exclusively through that language. Hindi cannot, Malayalam cannot. No Indian language is able to supply the technology through it. But Chinese Mandarin, Japanese, German, French, these languages can teach their students up to any level, postdoctoral level, and they can function as great scientists or say medical practitioners exclusively through their language. 50 years ago, there was no English in China. Only during the last 50 years, China opened its door to English. And most of you will have to be some sort of a dependence on Chinese language. China is going to be emerging as the most powerful nation because their human resources, no technology. Unfortunately, India too had it. Because China and India, we are not two nations. This nation, border and boundary, all these happened during the last, say, 300 years, 400 years. Otherwise, it was a stretch of land in between mountains and rivers and oceans, that's all. Asia is a country. We all belong to the same region and we all shared the same characteristic features. We were excellent in intelligence. Indians, Chinese, Japanese, we were all top in intelligence, much greater than the West. The greatest literatures, the greatest histories in Greece, they are comparatively newer than our ancient wisdom. But the 300 years of British rule spoiled the whole thing in India. Luckily, China didn't have it. One simple example. Now we start work at 10 o'clock. Usually in India, the institutions, all institutions, government institutions and education institutions start working at around 10 o'clock, 9:30, like that. Very few schools will be there functioning from 7 o'clock, maybe half a dozen all over India. They will be extremely, run by extremely wise people, 7 o'clock, like that. Imagine, 300 years ago, in India, India woke up at 4 o'clock. 300 years ago, India woke up at 4 o'clock, went to bed by 8 o'clock. Whether it was academic or farming or everything, India started working at 4 in the morning. Now, what time do you get up these days? Preferably 9? If you are comfortable? If you are comfortable, 9 o'clock. Just because of the system is here, you are woken up by. Who made this change? Those who are not able to get up at 4 o'clock in the West, because of extreme chilly weather, they can't imagine of opening their eyes at 4 o'clock in the morning and peeping through the window. 4 o'clock was, they were in sound sleep, extreme rocky sleep. They made their timing for us. Slowly and gradually, we too comfortably slept. And in another 10 years, when I come back here, you will be asleep at 10 o'clock. I will be waiting here. Since I belong to old generation, I will be waiting here. You will be comfortably sleeping in your hostel. Okay. Again, messages will be sent to bring you back by 11:30. We will start our class. Why I tell you all these things, that we have to change our habits. You don't know how the habits got fossilized in you. Only when I shake you up, oh, you realize. Think of self-change. 24 hours, sorry, no more. Most of you complained, sorry, I didn't get time. You'll be running to the HOD's room, ma'am, shall I bring it tomorrow? Sorry, today is the day. Ma'am, yesterday I didn't get time. What happened to your yesterday's 24 hours? Who stole your 24 hours? For the last 50 years, I didn't use this phrase. Sorry, I don't have time. Last 50 years, I didn't use the phrase, I didn't get time. I have enough time. I have enough time. Later, when we work online, you may be surprised to get a WhatsApp message from me around 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm 73. Wait, we'll see. Most of my books, most of my articles, papers are finally sent after taking care of the language part and organization part, etc., and proofreading. Usually, I send my papers and say manuscript of books and everything, and serious brochures also, around 2 o'clock in the morning. Then I go to bed. Then I go to bed only to get up at 6. By chance, by mistake, if I am 7, I feel rather guilty about myself. Because the sun has been waiting for me for the last 1 hour or so. I shouldn't allow the sun to wait for me. The sun is ready there at 6 o'clock. So even if I go to bed at 2 o'clock, I start work again at 6. Just one more sentence. I do all work at home. 75% of cooking and cleaning I do at home. For the last 42 years, never did I allow my wife to get up earlier than me. Only after I made a cup of tea for her and a cup of coffee for me, different. Only then she is allowed to get up. Last 42 years. Purely personal. I didn't even want to change her habit of tea into coffee. Could be easily done, because I don't want to change my habit of coffee into tea. I want a cup of coffee first. Then I can have tea or anything. But the first should be a cup of coffee, black or with milk. Before I married her, if she developed a habit of having a cup of tea first, do I have the right to change her tea into coffee? And yesterday I told you, day before yesterday, I was doing farming. All sorts of work. Still I do have time. Now, why do and how do I have time is that I keep on changing the work. Working with computer, say for 1 hour, then suddenly I get up after putting it to a particular stage, a meaningful stage, then I rush to the kitchen. In 15 minutes, I make a vegetable dish. At non-veg, I am not good at. In 15 minutes, I will be making a dish, a vegetable, traditional dish. Then I come back to a computer and start working for another half an hour. Then I rush to my garden, either watering the garden or taking care of the things. Keep on changing, and that keeps me fit to any job, whether it is kitchen or computer or say reading or say taking notes or say preparing for your class or say anything like that. Try. Next is for your future. This is for the present, time management. Okay, I don't use theoretical words. Time management, which is the key to success. Nobody is going to get more than 24 hours. Nobody is going to get it in the reduced version as well. Like the tools are neutral, time also is neutral. You are the person to make use of the time as well. Next one, for future. A great play, drama in French, Waiting for Godot. My colleagues here might have been familiar. Waiting for Godot, a French play by Samuel Beckett. In that play, this is the advantage of studying literature. In that play, one character says, the quantity of happiness and sadness is fixed for the world. The quantity of sadness and happiness is fixed for the entire world, no change. Like the 24 hours. Imagine 80 kilos of happiness, 80 kilos of sadness too. And the playwright says, the dramatist says, or the character says that it is distributed in the world. It is distributed in the world, but not equally. Are you unhappy now? If you are unhappy, then you have to wait somebody stops smiling. When that somebody stops smiling in America or Canada or in Kerala or somewhere else, when that somebody stops smiling, that happiness you will get. Are you really happy now? Then please remember, in another 5 minutes, your happiness may fade off because somebody else, somewhere else in Russia or somewhere else may be waiting for that happiness. The 80 kilos of happiness and the 80 kilos of sadness will not get increased. Somebody, the wording in that play is that you please wait for somebody to stop smiling. This is for future. Don't wait for a comfortable life throughout. Even your parents, even if they are the richest, cannot make your future life uniformly happy. Impossible. You too can't. But how to overcome unhappiness, that is with you. It is there, the symbol, you can do it. All that we can do is overcoming unhappiness, unpleasantness, sadness. All these are to be taken care of at this stage. Once got married, once got the family, and then problems are going to get multiplied. But the earliest primary problems you left unsolved at the bottom, and they are in a fluid state. Okay. Certain problems like time management, punctuality, all those things which you could have done at the age of 18, 19, 20, you ignored them, but problems are still lying there in a fluid state. It is on this fluid foundation your married life, your career, and the whole later life is built You forgot to solve this time management and these things, and they are still in a muddy shape. It is on which you have built your house. How stable will your house be? At that time, can you go back to your college days and say, get things done? Is it possible? Thousands of students in IPS were communicated about this course by Dr. Shalini ma'am and her colleagues. But how many are here? How many are good at English? Can all those people, IPS, PG and UG students, can manage with exclusively Hindi for their entire life? Can Hindi take care of all your needs and the future needs of your children? If your English is not that good, your children's English also is not likely to be that good. At the age of 40, can you improve your English? Your child comes back from school and she asks you, Dad or Mom, why is it like this? And imagine you are not in a position to answer that question. What will be the image of your child about you? If you are unable to answer a small query by a third standard girl, what will be the child's image about you? What we have been taking care of back in Kerala villages is right now is that educating Kerala mothers. Educating Kerala mothers. Only mothers can improve the children's language. Not only language, education in general. Education in general. So, whether mother or father of future in under 10 years or so, be careful about the next generation also. For another 100 years or so, English is going to stay as the global language. By that time, Chinese Mandarin or sometimes some other languages may replace. But your generation and your children's generation, English is going to be the language of opportunities. I am not an ardent worshipper of English. No. But this is a fact. For your generation and for your next generation, English is going to be the decisive factor, crucial factor for career, for education, higher education, for career and for life also. 3. Higher education, career, life. So, I have great respect to Hindi. I am not belittling the importance of Hindi, but this is the fact. Okay, now let's work. Now let's come back to the task. I didn't forget that task. See, in between, you are listening to English. Any problem in listening to my English? Is there anything? As I told you yesterday, this English is more than enough for you to survive in any part of the world. Any part of the world. When you speak like this, you may make a few mistakes. Yesterday I told you, make mistakes. Make mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. How many of you know swimming here? Swimming? Nobody. 1, 2, 3, swimming. Hey. Though we do have this much of rain in Indore and you don't know swimming, see? No. It is not a skill, it is a life-saving skill. Your own life, your child's life, your neighbor's life, somebody else's life. It is not cricket. It is not dancing, Bharatanatyam or say Kuchipudi. It is, no. Swimming is not a silly thing. It's a life-saving skill, your own child's life-saving. try to get into some places, either say the swimming pool in the city, etc., or go back to your ancestral village and get into some pond or some river or somewhere else, please. Every day, the Chennai city version, Madras, old Chennai city version of the local newspaper, every day brings at least reports of 2 drownings, deaths, 2. Because Chennai has the long beach, Marina Beach, and from every engineering colleges and almost other colleges, people simply go to the sea. It stretches up to Mahabalipuram near Pondicherry, and they think that it's a very happy, pleasant thing to get into the water, taking selfie on a nearby rock, and finish. Every day, 2 cases of drowning leading to deaths. Luckily, you don't have a seashore for Madhya Pradesh, but you have enough rivers, and you too get enough floods also. Okay, these are not part of English, these are part of life. Quite a few parents had to watch helplessly in Kerala last month. A snap flood came, and a mother was carrying her baby on her left arm in front of that small house. The flood came with say rolling stones and all those things. This child was snatched away. In 1 second, the mother couldn't locate the child. The body was recovered after 1 week. Okay, but here swimming cannot do anything, but it happens. Think of the tragedy. 7 of you in my own college where I taught in Hindustan University on the beach. I worked there for 6 years. I think I heard about at least some 15 deaths. 7 or 8 went to the beach, came back -1. My own students in the beta classes. Just imagine. As a teacher, I still can't stand it. Then what about the parents? Most of them from Andhra Pradesh. Please don't neglect these basic things, even if your parents were not aware of it. India is a land of rains. India is a land of rivers. India is a land of waters, and water attracts you. Water has always the charming power of attracting you. Fire is comparatively better because fire doesn't allow you to approach. Fire always stops you. Stop, don't approach me. And you unless you want to jump into a fire, you can't approach a fire. Water is the other way around. Water invites you, come, and it swallows you. Finish. Please do learn swimming, my dear ones, at the earliest. Don't be shy of it. In city, it is a little expensive, but during your vacation, if you go to your ancestral village to your grandfather or grandma, some say girls or boys of your age will be there who are experts in the field, who will help you. Girls to help girls, boys to help boys. Please do make use of these things. These are the basic things our education forgets. Kerala this time introduces 5 marks as grace mark for swimming certificate. Because during the last 3-4 years, we had a lot of case of drowning. Now, quite a few institutions are running certificate programs in swimming. 5 marks for, I think, +1 admission. Yeah, for +1 admission. For the SLC mark, 5 more grace marks are added if you produce a certificate of swimming from a competent authority. Because Kerala is surrounded by, not surrounded, one side it is beach and the rest is Okay, these are all basic things.